Hey guys, this is my first ever video. This is the Rogue Stoner, coming to you live and direct from the humble abode, aka my room, aka the cell of meditation. Today's video, first I want to apologize for the darkness and weirdness of this. This is my first ever recording, as I've said, and it's on my cell phone with a little bit of an LED light here. We got to start somewhere, right? So please excuse the amateurishness of this, but I just want to say, thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll make many more videos with many more topics, and hopefully you'll like it or not, but this is something that's for both of us. So I just want to say thanks again for having me, and let's get on with the show. This is my first video, as I've said, and the topic is a little close to home. I was just finished speaking with my father, and like many things in life, I like to tend to call myself being humbled a lot. That's how I learn and grow, and this was one of those moments where I was speaking with my dad, and we have a great tight relationship as well as my mom, and he was expressing how we don't talk a whole lot, especially with this week going on with work and, life, and just things were going on between his end and my end, and one of the things is being the rogue stoner, emphasis on the rogue part is that I have a sense and freedom of life, and I like to go on many adventures. Many of you who know me personally and many who don't should know that I like seeing the world, and it's a big place, and just meeting new people and meeting having new encounters for experiences of life, and I feel like that's the best way to grow, and I am a big fan of that. But one of the curses of being the rogue stoner is that you tend to not stay around too long, or at least enough time for people to, I guess, feel that they need to build a relationship with you, or build further on your relationship. And I tend to not really cater to that too much. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a bad thing. And he was explaining to me that we haven't talked in like at least a week and some change, and I don't hang out as much. And, it's something that I really felt that it's not necessarily an inconvenience for me. Well, it is. I feel like it's an inconvenience for me, but not as an inconvenience for him. But it's a concern, and he loves me, and I'm his son. He wants to look out for me, make sure things I'm going through is not too much. And that also is funny because even though I classify myself and I'm calling myself the rogue stoner, I'm actually sober right now, or unmedicated, as in for the last couple of months. And I mean, it's kind of ironic, but at the same time, it's a good platform to start off with. I am a little anxious, and I'm rubbing my knees as we speak now, and hopefully you can forgive me for my words and stumbling and stuff. But at the same time, it humbled me a little bit, and I was watching this other YouTuber who I am subscribed to, and you should subscribe to. He's a really good guy, Larry Jones, aka the THC. See him at the THC Temple. Look him up. He's a really good guy, really positive young dude, younger than me, but very wise. And that's something that I look in terms of building relationships with people, even if I don't have a direct relationship with them. But sharing testimonials, and reaching the people out there, for fellow positive people out there who may feel the same, who may be going through similar things with them in their life. It's comforting, and it's good to share laughs, good to have the positivity, and you may not meet the person, but at least other people out there who are going through the same things that you are. And a lot of times we don't actually pay attention to that because we're usually wrapped up in our own lives, whether it be the day-to-day, the week, the things we hear in the news and in the neighborhoods, and it tends to be a lot of times negative, and it's not very often that you get a whole lot of positivity. So that's one of the good dudes out there. It's among the many other people out there who, in YouTube land and in the world, who actually see the good in life. Me, as the rogue stoner, I tend to have an issue with that sometimes, and need to be reminded that I am part of a world and a collective, whether I want to be or not. So yeah, I'm still going to continue to be in the rogue stoner and go on my many adventures as an individual, but doing my best to be mindful of the people out there. Excuse me one second, I'm a little dry. No pun intended, because of the lack of MJ. I miss her, and many of you guys know her as MJ, Marijuana, Mary Jane, reefer, what have you, cannabis. I love the car MJ. She's been there with me all my life. Well, not all my life. I say I've been born again about 8-9 years back, and she's been with me ever since and has helped me with my crazy, neurotic, structured life that I've been trying to, keep tight. But that brings me into my first topic. 1 second, please. Oh yeah, also on this page, I will also be reviewing the many strains that I will be coming in contact and hopefully will share with you. They will be in different locations, so you don't have to get used to this crazy little, pre-workout area is what I call. And please forgive these little bit of guy right here. This right here, yeah, I had a little bar burn going to the gym. But what the topic is, being humbled for the sake of growing, and noticing that your steps forward are a lot bigger than your steps back. The other day, I'll say about, last Friday was going to work, and it's been a struggle for me to actually get work since being laid off back in 2012. And that came as a shocker. Literally, I was told that my services will no longer be needed. Working in freelance film, or television at that time, job, and it kind of threw me for a loop. But somebody who's always had a job since he was about 8 years old, legit at 13, I've always worked very hard for what I wanted, and it's not come without sacrifice. Many of the sacrifices have been with life, dreams that I thought I would, blow up, shoot into fruition, with more hard work, but something to be dedicated to. And sometimes you got to put those things to the back burner or just dismiss them entirely for the sake of life. And at that particular time, when you're young, everything seems like, fruitful to, to you and your dreams and your goals and your happiness. And that's what we're trying to strive for, happiness. And one of the things was, among many other jobs throughout 2012 to now, was I made a list when I was working as a life insurance agent. You may not be able to see all of this because it's a little nasty and small, but these are my goals right here. Minimal goals, realistic goals, and finally dreams. Those are important to have. Pretty much the other day when I was going to work, I noticed that it was still on the back of my door from 2012 to 2013. Maybe even 2014. I can't actually remember right now. Maybe it's old age getting to me. But I noticed that one of the goals was to join a gym. And it might not seem important, or it may seem more trivial to many of you out there who are, sports buffs, always going to the gym, working hard or whatever like that. But for somebody who's skinny like me and has always been grinding, I have a fast metabolism. Not expecting you guys to sympathize with me because, a lot of times you're just trying to lose weight. But for the slim people out there who are trying to put on weight and look like a normal person or feel like a normal person, it tends to be hard with, you're always burning and moving and moving and moving and burning. And, next thing you look in the mirror, you're like 120 pounds and you're like, where did I go? There's no reason why I should see my heartbeat through my chest, and that's not a good look. It's not a good sign. Eat your food, veggies, proteins, starches. It's good for you. But joining a gym was a benchmark for me. And I was like, wow, I've been going to the gym for X amount of months right now. And you may not see it now because I am still very slim, but, you feel better. You get a little bit more confident in your walk, or swag develops. And it's one of those things that, you start to appreciate a little bit, and it's like, wow, last year, the year before that, and the year before that, I was in the dumps. I was an animal. I was, struggling. I was really working for free on some slave type shit. And, you have to suck it up sometimes for the betterment for yourself and what's around you, especially when you know that the few safety nets you have holes in them and they may go at any second. So, sacrifice again. And I did a lot of that, and I'm still continually doing a lot of that. People telling me, oh, you need a life, you're young, go out, have fun, this, that, and the third, before it's too late. And, one of the good friends of mine during one of my IT classes and training courses, he was like, man, you work hard, but I kind of see what you're doing. You're kind of sacrificing your 20s to live in your 30s. And I was like, yeah. I mean, nowadays people feel like 30 and up is old, but, when I was growing up, 20s was the time you got your feet wet, you did all the mistakes, and you did stupid stuff, and, you learned, and then by the time you're in your 30s, you should have your shit together, or at least on the way to getting your shit together. Getting it all in a bag, maybe calling someone up and say, hey, could you help me get my shit together? Just like all in one place, Ziploc it so that you have your shit together. And I'm still getting my shit together, but the bag is starting to, bunch up a little bit. And that Friday morning was the time I actually looked at the bag for a little bit and noticed that, even though I'm not where I want to be entirely, the bag is filling up slowly but surely. And it's a lot of shit you go through. Some shit you got to take out, some shit you got to put in, some shit you just got to hold off and let it grow and fertilize into something that you can possibly smoke. But jokes aside, still and all, you want to be able to be at a point where you recognize the fruits that are growing from all the sacrifice and the strife, and at the same time you still got to leave room for others out there, including my family and friends. Some more so than others. You want to stay away from the negativity as much as possible, but at the same time acknowledge those out there and those individuals who have been there with you nonetheless through tried and true life. So I just want to say thank you out there for being there for me, whether you were there deliberately for me or not. But to know that there are other people out there going through similar, if not more things than you, and are still here. It's one thing about life that I've learned thus far is that you'll run in a straight line, thinking you're in a straight line, until you hit a corner. And that corner will knock the hell out of you and sometimes knock you on your back, and you'll roll back down that hill. But the true testament of the character is whether you get up and continue forward toward what you really, really want, and really take a introspective moment and say, is this really what I want? If not, let me go another route and find out what it is that I want. And what I want personally, since I was a child, was happiness, freedom and happiness. And I've been working thus far for that. It's not over, and I'm enjoying the journey, because life is, again, not a destination, it's a journey. So with this is that I'm looking at joining a gym, getting some health insurance, wherever that may be. It's still health insurance, because you will end up busting your ass when that curve hits you, and you'll eventually, before you go on another route or continue up that hill, you might need to see a doctor. So health insurance does help, because most of the shit out here costs money. So yeah, that's important. And also on the other category, outside of minimum goals, were realistic goals, which was acquire a sustainable life insurance policy. And I have that. I've been holding it down for some time, and I'm proud of it, and I encourage all those out there who can get it, please get it for yourself or your loved ones, because it's one of those inevitable things you will have to face. And like watching Larry Jones at the THC Temple, he was talking about, the videos I was watching was he basically almost died, and I've come up the crosshairs of many moments of death, and if not at me personally during those times, seen it myself. And you don't come back from that in the same way. You're not the same person, and it does affect you, but it's your choice to have it affect you to the point where you are scared and running, or you're going to face it and say, I am going to be appreciative of my life, that I am still here, and I still have the many blessings in this world. So let me take that and become stronger with it. So that's what I've been doing, and it tends to nullify, or at least buffer, the negative things that I've perceived, or even other those out there in the world who shared their comments and feelings with me. You tend to try to give them a little perspective, saying, hey, you're still here. Sure, this person is not here, or this person's in the worst shape, but you're still here. Sure, your life isn't what you expected it to be, but you're still here. So with that being said, I had some bacalao earlier, and it's starting to come up, but I'm keeping it down. You must excuse me too, because I am a guy, and I do tend to fart and burp and shit, but life. With that said, I just want to say thank you again, and I am happy that the bag that I'm filling up toward my dreams and just overall being happy is filling up, and I can notice that. So for all those out there who are going through some similar things, please look at your own bag and notice that there are things there. So you are moving forward and you are building up. So I just want to wish you good luck, and hopefully we'll see you in many more future videos with better quality, because yeah, and definitely we'll do many more reviews. I have something coming in from a good source of mine, a good friend of mine, so we'll talk about that in the near future, and I hope to see you again, guys. Be easy. Peace.